Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When you sow a seed, that time the seed starts sprouting, isn't it? And the seed grows in two directions. It grows up in the sky, which will subsequently develop into a tree, is it not? At the same time, the seed also grows down below into the soil, correct? But what is seen is only the tree part which is growing above the soil. Can we see the root system of the tree? No. But can the tree exist without the root system? No. So the strength in the growth of the outer tree depends on the depth and the strength the root system has, is it not? Suppose some tree is becoming dead or dried. What we conclude? That the roots are either infected by some infection, or there is no water supply, or there is no nutrient available to the plant, and therefore the tree is dying, is it not? Friends, we are all like the seeds sown in the soil of this body, and we are to grow simultaneously, not in one direction alone. We have to grow simultaneously in the outer world, wherein your progress in the material world is required, and this progress in the material world will be directly influenced by how much is your root system growing within, is it not? So the first principle, external growth, whether you take your studies or your professional superiority or your achievement in the outer world, are dependent on the strength of your roots. If your roots are infected, you cannot have a sustained growth in the outer world. Very important thing. Now, what are the roots and what is the external growth? External growth is our ability to adopt and interact with the outer world in such a manner that we succeed in life. We are not born to be defeated. How many of you have tried to fail in the examination? None. Do you know why? It's very difficult. When you know the answer and you don't write deliberately, no. But if you want to succeed in life, it is natural. Everybody in this world is naturally expressing only to succeed, and yet everybody doesn't succeed. What is the reason? The reason is only one. And that one reason is our inner growth is halted, arrested somewhere or the other because of one or the other factor. How many of you have studied and known how to develop a bonsai plant? Do you know what is a bonsai plant? Everybody knows? No? Yes or no? Number two. Bonsai plant is a plant which is made a dwarf, which is not allowed to grow into huge tree by cutting the main tapering root when the plant is small, and it is starved. It is not allowed to die, but it is not allowed to grow also. And as a result, that huge banyan tree which would have spread over miles, that huge banyan tree is kept limited in its growth in a small pot. Is it not? You must have seen, now you got the idea. That kind of tree is called as bonsai plant. Now what is a bonsai plant? Where the root system is made to starve. And because the root system is made to starve, the plant cannot grow. My dear young friends, do we want to become bonsai plants to decorate the small drawing rooms of rich people? Or you want to be a huge banyan tree which can support millions of birds, which can support the total environmental approach to the modern life? We all want to become a huge big plant, isn't it? For that, what is required is, always remember, our external growth is dependent on our root system. Don't allow your roots to be cut. First principle of life. You know, long time back, I was in Nepal, staying with a Nepali family. And they had a girl like your age, class 6 or 8 or something like that. And a very sweet, cute girl. So she used to be all the time around me. One day I asked her, hey, tell me something about your Nepalese culture, I want to know. What Nepalese culture is like? Could you imagine what was the first statement she said? She said, I hate to be called as a Nepali, biting, grinding her teeth. I said, hey, my sweet, remember, anywhere you move in this world, you will be called Nepali because you look like a Nepali. Those mongoloid eyes, and you know that short stature, and those different type of eyebrows, different type of, you know, the facial expressions. So you will be called Nepali throughout your life, wherever you go. And what is your interaction? Of your being a Nepali, I hate to be called as a Nepali. What is the net result? Your whole life you will be hating yourself. Friends, if you cannot have self-respect for what you have and you are, you cannot grow in the outer world. Please remember this. You have to be proud of what you are. Don't any time have any kind of feeling, I wish it was like that. No, you are the best as you are. And your greatness is not only on the physical structure. Your greatness is on your roots, on your inner strength. Have you seen the picture of Mahatma Gandhi? You know, once I went in a school in Delhi, and the whole school was so rowdy and so indisciplined. The principal called me, and on the blackboard they had put 5 question marks. I'll just show you what I mean, so you will love that. Oh, they have. When I went for the class, they have put 5 question marks. And then the student came to invite me to talk. We are very happy that Swamiji has come, and our principal told us Swamiji will talk to us something. We will not listen to you, Swamiji, unless you explain what is this. Tell me, explain, what is this? So, I said, if I explain what is this, you will have to answer my question. Are you ready? If not, you accept that you are defeated. Yes, Swamiji, everybody shouted. I said, okay. This is disintegrated Mahatma Gandhi. What? Yes, this is Mahatma Gandhi. They said, how come? I said, now you tell me how it is not Mahatma Gandhi. Or else I will prove how it is Mahatma Gandhi, and then you will have to say, Swamiji, we have lost. And they were struggling. Hey, Mahatma Gandhi, how it can be Mahatma Gandhi? I have drawn them almost same size. They have drawn in a tapering way. Big, small, 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 small. These question marks, like that. I said, you agree? Defeated? I think we can't, figure out how this can be Mahatma Gandhi. I said, look here. The big question mark is the head of Mahatma Gandhi. One question mark is the nose of Mahatma Gandhi. One question mark is the ear of Mahatma Gandhi. One question mark is the speck that is of that Mahatma Gandhi. And one stick is the question mark. Hey, something great. Now in this Mahatma Gandhi, is there anything beautiful? Nothing. As regards his physical structure is concerned, he was never accepted as a handsome person. Is it not? But was he not able to motivate millions? What is that? The roots, the inner depth. My dear friends, our greatness is directly proportionate to the strength of our inner roots. And therefore, it is necessary that if you really want to lead a life of creative existence, your roots must be very strong. And what is the first root? The first root is we have to be proud of what we are. If that self-pride in what we are is lacking, such a person will always suffer from negativity. And such a person will never be able to achieve anything in life. Therefore, if you want to be a great leader, if you want to really lead a life which is extraordinary, what is required is, first of all, strengthen your roots. And the first dose of strengthening your roots is this: be proud of what you are. The moment you have this approach, I think I lack this, I lack that, and we are a poor country, and you will be destroying yourself. No. Most importantly. Now, should this self-pride be mixed up with the arrogance? There is a very little difference between self-respect and self-arrogance. Arrogance is a load that we carry, and self-respect is the strength that we have. Can some of you tell me what is the difference between the self-respect and the self-arrogance? 1, 2, 3. Girl? Yes, you. Try. Is my question clear? the difference between self-respect and self-arrogance?
Self-arrogance means more proud of showing what he or she has.
Right.
Self-respect, respect for ours and what we do or whatever we are doing.
Very good.
Have respect for ourselves.
And very good. And self-confidence. Isn't this what you mean? So self-arrogance is having a pride which will be a negative force. Yes. Which will be a negative force. And self-respect is a creative force. And this is what is meant by these two. Yes?
Self-arrogance is considering others below us, and self-respect is like considering yourself to be good.
Good. Good and confident. See, what is required in life is confidence. If we lack confidence, we cannot achieve anything in life. And therefore, when we have the self-respect, we will have self-confidence. Okay? Now, when you have self-confidence, what will happen will be, you will never start with a wrong note. Have you seen those people who are running in their athletic meet? How they begin their run? Once, in one of my camps, I used to have a lot of camps of kids of your age. And in one of the camps, we were having the race. And in that, the students supposed to run. And one of the child told, Swamiji, you also have to join because you are also a camper. I said, all right. All the students in a row, and one elderly lady was to give the whistle, and I am with my, you have seen my wooden khadao, with my wooden khadao, lungi and all that. And she gave a whistle. And the moment she gave 1, 2, 3, go, all of the students started running, and I was fiddling with my lungi and holding. By the time I could think of running, they already reached. See, if you want to win in life, what is required is how you start. If you start with a wrong note, you cannot achieve anything in life. So you have confidence, but are you able to apply the confidence in a right manner? See, two things. One is you have confidence, you have the ability, but are you applying that or not? If you have got all the confidence and the ability, but you don't have the will to apply, nobody can help you in life. You know the common proverb where it is said that you can take the horse to the waters. You cannot make the horse drink the water. In the same manner, the Lord has given you everything. All of you are healthy. All of you are from well-to-do families. You belong to a society, a family structure where there are people educated at home. You have got good cultural background. You have got everything. But if you don't have will to win and succeed in life, nobody can help you in life.
What to do to create this will, or what to do to get this will power?
Good. So the next question comes, if we don't have the will, then what to do? You know what happens? There was a child, his mother told me about him. Swamiji, I don't know, my son, whenever he comes on the dining table, he starts, I don't like this, I don't like that, and start throwing tantrums. And always there is a problem when his dining time comes. I don't know what to do with that fellow. He is good otherwise. But the moment the time for taking food comes, he becomes very abnormal. You must have seen in your houses also. Some children are having that faculty. So what to do? Why he is like that? I said, Amma, if you allow me to treat him, don't come in between me and him. And see what happened. All right. Next day we all sat for lunch. It was a Sunday. And as usual, I said, today I will give the orders. You shut your mouth. It's all right. When the table was laid, I told, hey, everybody in the house, right on the table, we begin our food. Food is already laid. And everybody came, and this fellow, so the mother started as usual coaxing, my dear child, please come, what you want, I will give you this, I will give you that. Today she could not do because that was my day. I said, Mama, you shut up, don't talk one word. And we all started eating. We finished our food. And this fellow still grumbling. And after that, the parents, they had to go for some function. I said, you go ahead. His other brothers were to go for some cricket match. They went ahead. And this fellow on the dining table, and I had nothing to do. So I pulled a nice quilt, took a novel to read, and pretending I am reading, but I was looking at him, that child. And after some time, nobody to look after him, nobody to give him any importance. After half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, when the hunger started taking possession of him, and when he saw nobody is bothering for him, he himself came on the dining table, looked here and there, opened it and comfortably ate. Do you know, when we don't have hunger, we have got all the excuses. When we have no hunger to achieve something in life, then we don't have the will to do the things. Please remember, we are not born like the grass on the roadside. See? We have something special in us. Can you call a beautiful garden equivalent to a wild patch of land with all the grass? No. And that beautiful garden is a garden because somebody has worked on that. In the same manner, make your life like a beautiful garden. Weed out the unwanted things and plant the most beautiful plants. If that you keep as the goal of your life, my dear friends, you will have the will to achieve something in life. Otherwise, you die, suppose I die, and I go to the Lord. The Lord will ask, hey, I sent you as a human being. What you have done? Tell quickly. Okay, I have consumed 5 truckloads of rice in my whole life. I have consumed 10 truckloads of vegetables. Then I have consumed 6 tankers of milk. And I have consumed so many tons of ghee. But what you have produced? Nothing but garbage. Is this our life? Think. Have some goal in life. Unless you have a goal in life, you will not be inspired to live for that. Don't be satisfied with small little things in life. When you have higher goal to achieve, then the best in you will come out. Therefore, non-satisfaction in your own achievements is the only way that can prompt you to work hard. Do you know the difference between our Indian children and Western children? Here, our children are taken care of by the parents throughout life. Whatever they want, they get. As a result, our children become extremely delicate, no confidence, no decision making, no courage to jump, no readiness to go alone. Why? Because of the fear. Why? All the time too much protected. You have seen some plants, I have seen in one place, when the plants are planted, let us say a banyan tree, we fix iron covering so that the other animal should not come and eat. You must have seen that. Slowly, slowly that plant grows. And if you do not remove that iron covering around it, fencing, what happens? That plant eats away that, and it is also engulfed by the tree trunk. Is it not? In the same manner, how long are we going to remain under the protection of the elders? You have to grow strong. And if you have to go strong, you have to have higher goal in life. And if you have got a higher goal in life, you will be having desire to work for something higher. Therefore, if you have all the things around you, and if you don't have the will, even God will not be able to help you. Therefore, fix some goal in life. And those people who have fixed goal, they have achieved great. I'll give an example. Yesterday I was in Baroda, and there I spoke on this topic, the patience and perseverance. After my lecture was over, question answer. One man has asked this question. If somebody is having some problem like paralysis or some kind of thing, and is not able to really have patience and is not able to put efforts, what he should do? So I explained, look here, first of all, never have a lip sympathy to a weakling. We should never sympathize with the weakling with the word of sympathy. Oh, poor you, why God has to trouble you, I will you take this thing. You are making him more weak. Let his inner strength be invoked. Then I give an example. There was one Gujarati girl in Bombay, 12th standard, and I met her in Washington. And I was so charged when I looked at her, so full of confidence. And what was she? When she was in 12th standard, one morning she got up and her legs were paralyzed. What happened, God knows. And she could not get down on her own, both the legs. And she then shouted, Mom, look here what happened. And then the mom came, and then she has to be helped, and doctors came, everything. And they say there is something happened and she's paralyzed, and we'll try to see whether we can help, but she could not be helped. She told me her story. And then after 1 week of crying and mourning, she said, I decided, I am not going to live like this in my whole life on the sympathy of anybody else. And she has decided that I will prove that the body cannot stop me from achieving what I want to achieve. See, this is called as guts. She passed her 12th standard, then she did her BCom, MCom, as well as this business management. Then she went to USA, all alone on a wheelchair. And when she met me in a big mall, shopping mall, and came in her wheelchair. When I looked at her, I smiled, she smiled. I said, hey, what are you? Where from you are? Then she told me her whole story. She says, Swamiji, I move throughout the world, all alone, in her wheelchair. She has got a special car wherein she goes directly with the wheelchair and sits behind the steering and drives the car. See the confidence. That is life. So once you have decided, then you are not going to be bowed down by any difficulty that comes in your life. You will have the will to achieve the best. Now see what this girl has thought. Or else, you must have seen the beggars on the roadside. They will come with the one leg, one hand, and show the hand and invoke the sympathy and the mercy in the hearts of the people. And please give me 1 rupee. The other day, one beggar came, one man. He came in Bombay. And he said, "Oh, Swamiji, please give me 25 rupees. I said, "What, 25 rupees? He said, "No, these days nothing happens with 1 rupee. So our rates of beggary has increased. So give 25 rupees. Look here, that kind of existence? No. Therefore, we have to have the will. Nobody can inject will in us. If you are happy by being a Dumbo, then nobody can help you. You decide whether you want to outwit your earlier performance or you want to be just one among the many, those who are living because they don't have guts to die. No, let us not have that kind of life. And for that, next step in your question, how to increase the will? How many of you read regularly the life histories of great people? Good. If you are not doing that, then kindly read the life histories of the great people. This must form an integrated part of your daily reading. When you read the life histories of the great masters, you will see that how they have become so great. Third technique, to increase the will to win and be extraordinary. Just imagine, you go and meet the mother of Vivekananda. Vivekananda, you know, everyone. Suppose you go and meet the mother of Vivekananda. What will you talk to her? "Oh, mom, your son is such a useless fellow." Will you say that? No. You will always talk about Vivekananda to his mother, something great. "Mom, your son has been a source of inspiration for me." Is it not? When, be very attentive, friends, when that mother will hear good words about her son, she will feel disgusted or happy. Isn't it? Now, if you really love your parents, what your parents should listen about you? That you are someone extraordinary, is it not? Love for the parents is not a mechanical American type of love. "Mom, I love you," give in writing. That is not love. Prove your guts and let your mother be proud of you. "Here is my son." This is the goal of your life. That your elders must be proud of you. See how important it is. Why we will not have the desire to do the best? We will. Keep these points in your mind. And when you thus start reading the life histories of the great people, you will come across one very important point. And that point is, in the life of every great Mahatma, every great person, there were difficulties. Never there was a person who has become great without going through the difficulties of life. There was a huge boulder lying in the mountain somewhere, forest, and there were many boulders lying down. One day, a sculptor was going that way and he stopped near one big boulder. And he looked at it. There are so many boulders, But with one boulder he looked at. And then he took his chisel and hammer and started working on that boulder. With every hit of the chisel and the hammer, the boulder was cursing God, cursing the sculptor, and cursing the whole world. Oh Lord, why I am selected of all the other boulders? See how others are lying so comfortably. And I have to take all the time, every hammer, every chisel stroke. And slowly, with every day, the miseries became more and more. But one day, when the unwanted chips were removed and a beautiful idol was created, then it was lifted from there, installed in the temple, and the whole world started bowing before him. Then that stone started thinking, hey, the whole world is bowing before me, and other stones are still lying in the forest. The best thing can come out of you if you are aware that to achieve the highest, you require a lot of sacrifice. You require a lot of efforts. It will not happen just like that. And if you are ready for that, then you are bound to achieve great in this life. And therefore, friends, all what I have been talking to you is a balance between the two things. Like the tree is a perfect balance between the root system and the growth above. In the same manner, our life is a perfect balance between the inner strength, the values, the culture, the commitment, the confidence, the self-respect, and the manifestation of the inner strength in the outer world with the motivation to achieve something great in life. That is your outer performance. And when we thus grow, there is bound to be success in our life. There is no choice. You have to succeed. Now at your age, most of you are teenagers, isn't it? This is the age which is the most terrible experience of your life. Because here you are tortured from the inner pulls and outer world. So many things are changing in you, physically, physiologically, which are new to you, which you don't know how to deal with that. And our society, our own understanding, our wrong interaction, the media blow up, all these things is creating such a chaos and confusion in you. As a result, you are becoming weak and weak day by day. You know, I'll tell you one experience. One day I was taken to somebody's private clinic to show me that clinic. This happened in US. One of my friend took me, Swamiji, this is my clinic, and the staff were there. And the staff were all girls. Swamiji, this is Mary. She takes care of the blood samples. This is Maggie, and she takes care of the urine samples. And she is so and so, she is a X-ray expert, and she does all that, and this is how I run my business. And then he said, just to praise his staff, that now they have become so expert that I simply sign when they give me this paper. They don't have signing authority is with me. So I said, hey girls, kindly tell me, when you are so bright, when you are so intelligent, why didn't you study medicine and become the doctor rather than becoming an ordinary technician? See, your boss is earning money on your expertise. Why didn't you do that? You know what those girls told me? They said, are you from India? I said, yes. Oh, you people have a total different life. Ours is not like that. Then what happened? She said, in our country, when we are teenagers, we are pushed out of the house. There is nobody to guide us. There is nobody to protect us. There is nobody to take care of us. And with everything happening new in the body, we are thrown out. As a result, we go the wrong way. And by the time we complete our 19 years, 20 years of life, we are completely ruined. Thereafter, there is no strength to study. Very few are able to go through and succeed in life. Majority of them are illiterates. You know, one day some Western ladies came with me to India, and recently this happened. For the first time, one lady has come. And she says, Swamiji, Indians are so good, you know, they are so loving and all that. I said, I'll tell you one thing. You may not like it. What is that? I said, you know, you have only one qualification God has given you. And that is, you have a white skin. When a white-skinned person comes in India, nobody inquires whether he or she is educated, professional, from a good family, nothing. You may be a sweeper in your country, or you may be a doctor in your country. There everybody is white, nobody cares for each other, everybody is absolutely selfish, stinking with selfishness. And when you come to our country, everybody respects you. And this is the first time in your whole life you got respect from somebody. Therefore you feel India is a good country. See, the real greatness is in this understanding. You are having the best of the whole world. You are protected by your parents, by our culture, by our society. You are taken care of. At this stage, you go wrong once. You will go wrong twice. You will keep on going wrong thereafter. Therefore, don't yield to moodiness. This is the time children of your age, they become moody. Why that moodiness comes? Because we are not committed to some higher goal. Therefore, don't yield to either the temptations or your weaknesses. You have to be strong. You know about this Vivekananda I told. One day he talked to his guru that, sir, you go and talk to Mother Kali every day. Why don't you tell her that I am in short of money and I got lot of problems. Therefore, please give me money. You know what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told him? Hey, I will tell mother, she will talk to you directly. Go and ask her. And he said, okay, nothing like that. He went before the Divine Mother, and when he started his prayers, he could not ask even once, oh mother, give me little money for taking care of the people at home. Friends, if you have got higher goal in life, you can never be tempted by small things in your life. Or if you have no higher goal, like anyone, 12 to a dozen, you cannot be leader. To be a leader, you have to be inspired. And that inspiration manifests in our life in the form of higher goal. And therefore, it is extremely necessary that you have to have the root system, which is your inner strength, and the outer growth, which is discovered by fixing a goal and working for that. You are bound to succeed. There is nothing in this world which can stop you from succeeding. And for that, you have to choose. Don't be satisfied with small little things in life. Think of something higher. And then you will see the best in you will start coming out. Last point. If you want to sharpen a knife, what is the kind of surface you will use? Will you take Amul butter slab? Why Amul butter slab? No. This is an imported knife. How can I rub it against the hard surface? No. If you want to sharpen your knife, you have to rub it against the hard surface. Is it not? If you want to bring out the best in you, you have to work hard. And that can come up if your goal is higher. Therefore, don't be satisfied with only passing the examination. That will happen. I guarantee on behalf of all of you that none of you will ever fail in your life. You will not fail. But that is not all. Think of something higher. And for that, work. And what is the work? In both the direction. Discover your root system, as well as grow in the outer world, fixing the higher goal and achieve success. When these two things become a perfect balance, you are bound to be a great leader of tomorrow. Do you know there is one mother's workshop I conduct. You must have heard the name of Shivaji Maharaj. His mother has worked on her son right from childhood, telling him the stories from our mythology, etc., and inspiring him that one mother made one Shivaji which has protected our culture and tradition. So don't have that wrong notion. What one can do, you can. It is possible. And once you keep that goal, you will see sky is the limit for your achievement. And this can be done, it must be done, and you shall do it. With this confidence, live every moment of your life, you will succeed. Thank you very much, friends. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. What is the format? You have got a break now? Tea? Great. I will also get tea. I was wanting to have a cup of tea. Okay, we will break for a cup of tea. Then come afterwards. Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. There are 3 I's, capital I. One I is information. Second I is interaction. And third I is implementation. Now whatever you have heard in our earlier session, that was information, you got it. Now the second is interaction. Now you have to interact with what you have heard. And after that interaction, what will happen? That whatever you have heard, when you interact with something, it becomes yours, you accept it or you reject it. Please get this point clear. When you have the information, if you don't interact, it passes away. But when you interact, either you accept it or you reject it. If you reject it, it is dropped. If you accept it, then the next question comes, how to implement that. So now in this session, what we will do, we will try to interact with what you have collected as a information in the first talk. Clear? Now what will be the technique of interaction? I will make groups of students. How many are there totally? 35. So there will be each group of 7 students. So there will be 5 groups, and I will give you 5 topics. And on the basis of those 5 topics, you have to discuss within that. And after you conclude your discussions, then one of you will be selected by among yourself as a leader who will come and present the topic, discussions and conclusions here. And for that you will get about 15 to say 20 minutes maximum. And after that you come over here and present your conclusions, what you have discussed, then how this can be done. Am I clear? So first of all, I'll give the topic. Please note down all the 5 topics, because you won't know what group you are going to be. Topic number 1. It is possible to grow in the life without taking care of inner growth. This is one topic. There are people who believe in this, so you discuss on that. Now topic 2. Life is a perfect balance between the inner growth and the outer success. Topic 3. Topic 2 done, everybody? Okay. Outer success. Topic 3. The difficulties in achieving this perfect balance. And how to overcome them. How many topics? 3? Fourth one. The cardinal principles of a successful lifestyle. And last topic. Success is for everyone or the select few. Clear? Okay. Now I will make the groups, and on the basis of the groups you will be sent to different places. You go sit wherever you want, lawns or anywhere, and report here back in 15 minutes. And when you are discussing, don't go beyond the topic that is given to you. Discuss within the framework of this particular topic, and I will also take a round, your sir will also take a round. And while discussing, you have to learn two things. One will be the one who is conducting. His business will be to see that the students don't loiter in thoughts, that they are focusing on the subject matter. And the second person will be the one who is noting the points and preparing a kind of a report which he or she has to present. Now these two persons, you yourself decide who among you, okay? I will say Hari Om, you have to keep quiet and be to the point, clear, distinct, and go.
Start.
Start.
My name is Darshil. Our topic is group number 1. It is possible to grow in the life without taking care of inner growth. Our group has decided this topic and our answer is negative. Inner growth helps us to interact with other people. If we can't interact with other people, then how can we state our views and thoughts? If people don't understand us, then how can they interact with us? Inner growth helps us to respect ourselves and have faith in what we do. If we lack this, then this may lead to many barriers stopping us to achieve success. Inner growth gives us strength to overcome difficulties. Inner growth also means taking good decisions, which is very important, and stick to our views. Life is of no avail without inner growth. So I would like to conclude that if you would like to succeed in life, you should develop inner growth. Thank you.
Good. Group number 5.
Good afternoon. I am Vinita from 5th group. Our topic is that success is for everyone or selected few. My opinion is that it is for everyone. Where there is a will, there is a way. Success is for everyone, but it comes to a selected few. The person who has no dreams and has not selected his goals does not achieve success. A person who works hard with self-confidence and have the guts to face the difficulties. Example, Abdul Kalam has achieved his goals due to his willpower and hard work, although he was poor. At last, I would like to conclude that hard work and self-confidence are the tools used to climb the peak of success. Thank you.
Group number 3.
Hello, my name is Sahaj Parikh and our subject is group number 3. What are the difficulties in achieving the perfect balance between inner growth and outer success, and how to overcome them? It is very easy to say this, but when it comes to implementation, it becomes very difficult. For example, many people talk a lot about self-sacrifices, but when it comes to implementation, they cannot sacrifice even a little. In the example which Swamiji gave, when we sow a seed, it grows in both the directions, in the outer world and in the root system. When the root system is not okay, the outer success would not come. The difficulties are such as dependence, sympathy, distractions, temptations, and small failures. And our conclusion is, to overcome dependency, we should be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put things first. To overcome distraction and temptation, we should concentrate towards our goal, and to overcome the small failures, we should be having self-respect, and we should think that we are the best and no one can defeat us. Thank you.
Number 2.
Good morning. I am Kushani Gajar from Group 5, and the topic we had was life has to be a perfect balance between inner growth and outer success. And yes, all of us have agreed to it. For we must be convinced by the example of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. You can become a Mr. Mukesh Ambani, you can become a tycoon of business, you can become a businessman, a tycoon in the business industry. But what when an Anil Ambani turns up? Will you be ready to sacrifice even a little of your power? Yes, you will be convinced to sacrifice it if you have inner strength, and that is why inner strength is important. We must also remember that nations have fallen because of their lack of inner strength. India used to be a prosperous country. Isn't that out of success? But still the Britishers invaded us. Why was that? Because we were not united. We had round about 465 states. We were not united. We did not have inner strength. That is why they invaded us. But on the other hand, in 1932, when we got together again, we had inner strength, and that is why our outer sources developed. We removed the Britishers, and today we are already challenging big countries like US. We are saying, hey, look out, we are coming up. That is why I'm saying it again and again that you need to have inner strength. Because if you have only outer growth, you do not have a private life or someone who you want to share it with, then with whom will you share your success? Will you eat it? Will you drink your success? Will you live upon your success? You need to have people around you, because we are humans, not animals. And that is why, my friends, inner strength is necessary for outer success. Thank you.
Seven. Your group number was 2. You said 5. 7.
Good afternoon. My name is Pooja from Group 7. My topic is how to develop will to succeed. If you have goal in your life, you will have a will to do something. Don't be satisfied with small things in life. We should set a goal. We should set a goal in life and get inspired. Lots of sacrifice is required to achieve something. A willpower is must to achieve something. We should have a motivator. Motivation is not a small thing. Motivation will come within when you have strong power in yourself. Build your inner self. We should read life stories of great people, how they came up in life.
Good. 6.
Good morning. I am Brijesh from Group 6, and our topic is how do I decide to apply this. We are not born to be defeated. We do not succeed because our inner growth is not developed. We are not like the bonsai plants who are not allowed to grow. We should be like the huge banyan trees which support millions of birds, give shade to so many people. Our growth should not be limited to like any bonsai plant. Our growth is dependent on the strength of our inner roots. We should not be a person who destroys himself or herself by hating what he or she is. The person should have self-respect and be proud of what he or she is in order to strengthen their roots. He can achieve this by being good to others, by doing good to others so that they start respecting him. Greatness is directly proportional to the inner roots. Creative existence directly depends on the root system. So we should be proud of what what he or she is. If it is not there, we cannot achieve anything. If we want to achieve something in life, we should start from this very moment and work towards a positive feeling of generating self-confidence. This is the real way to develop self-confidence. We should work on life to develop it into a beautiful garden, not into a barren patch of land. When we die, there should be something, at least something we have produced apart from something we've consumed. If we have done something in life, only then we can say that we are successful. We should be self-satisfied on whatever we have done. So we can conclude by saying this, that there are 3 eyes of life: gaining information, interaction of the obtained information, implementation of it. So friends, we can promise today to implement whatever we have learned by fixing a high goal in our lives and work towards a better tomorrow and a positive feeling of success which consists of better inner roots and a self-satisfied personality. Thank you.
4.
Good morning, friends. I am Karishma from the 4th group. My topic is the cardinal principles of a successful lifestyle. First of all, what is the successful lifestyle? Success is to set goals, utilize timing, the creativity, courage of risk, efforts, resemble planning, and start working. The main principles of this successful lifestyle are: our greatness is directly proportional to our inner depth. We have to be proud of whatever we have, self-respect. And also remember that self-respect is a creative force. When we do not have any hunger to achieve anything in life, we cannot succeed in our life. Read the books of the great people who have passed from many difficulties in their life. Each and every person in this world have the difficulties in their work. When we have to decide any achievement achieve the goal, then our inner depth of the root should be strong so that we can spread our name and show our greatness. Simplicity, hard work, sincerely, kind-hearted, honesty, economically, etc. are the main cardinal principles of successful life. Under adverse circumstances, some people break records and others break down. The gem cannot be polished without the friction. The finest steel can be there without putting it through fire. Thank you.
It's fine. Before I have to say anything, I'll request our teacher, Mr. Dua, to say a few words, because he was the observer who was observing you and me. So let us take his input and then I'll conclude what I have to say. Mr. Dua.
Thank you, Swamiji. What I observed that in those 45 minutes when Swamiji spoke, each one of you was very attentive. Had it not been there, you wouldn't have picked those finer points. Had you not been here with your mind fully alert, you wouldn't have been able to pick up those fine nuances what Swamiji spoke about. And what was very satisfying, that most of you were able to convert what Swamiji said into implementation part which Swamiji did not say. Swamiji gave you information, Swamiji gave you the thoughts, then Swamiji gave you some 15 minutes to cull the points and bring out with your group, within your group, interacting amongst each other, and come out with a plan. What one of the group said, implementation. And I'm very happy that you were able to pick up the right points. I'm very happy that you were able to bring the thought process very clearly, how you plan to implement. I felt that you were very attentive. You have picked up a lot in these about 90 minutes. Swamiji would now say whether he has similar feelings or different feelings. Thank you.
All of you are standing and talking, but I am a lazy one. I sit and talk, isn't it? First of all, I must tell you that I am extremely disappointed. I never expected you will be so good. I thought you will be one of those millions useless children, and to some furniture I am talking. But you have really disappointed me. You came out so sweet. Difficult to find out a word for you. You know what was the sweetness? The sweetness was all of you were responding and not reacting. See, in life we grow when we respond. and not react. If I had to compare you with the teenagers of other countries, I move around the world every year. And I have gone and talked to school children from England, from Germany, from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, all over the world. But you are, see, you are the best. Do you know why? Because your roots are deep. In those countries, they don't have roots. And therefore, they lack conviction. They lack inner strength. They may be showing things outside. And one more important point about you, I like to tell you. When one group was coming, I don't know, I hugged somebody and kissed. You know, when I look into you, each one of you without exception has that purity that I feel like hugging and kissing you. But if I am among those people in the other countries, you feel, protect yourself from the monsters. This is the sign of your inner depth, inner growth, inner strength. The closer you are to your divine spark, the purer you are. The more pure you are, the more strong you are. The more strong you are bound to win. And the victory is not only in earning dollars or rupees. Victory is external prosperity, not compromising the inner purity. When a perfect balance between inner purity and external prosperity is achieved, you have lived your life successfully. And this is what you have. Therefore, the efforts put on you by Mr. Dua, AMA, your parents, your teachers, your society, your culture, and your cooperation with all of them is fructifying in blooming out such lovely flowers out of you. Keep it up and grow to demonstrate that you are some exceptional children. It is on you alone that we can think of something higher. This evening I have talk here. This evening, isn't it? So please find out time, and if possible pull your parents. Come in the evening. Come little early, because everything gets filled in very quickly. You won't get place you understand. But I'll request Nayarji that all of you who are here, I'll reserve 2 or 3 rows for you. You come there and sit and listen. And then let us see what the Lord wants. We'll do something good out of it. With this, I conclude my session. Thank you very much. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. There is one book, Life is What You Make. That is book published from here. Kindly give one book to all of them. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.